feel this, not so much
Yeah,
this.
because you're here, so
This.
how you can
Got to turn over. That's what we'll do footballs too.
stick.
The football, you got to do this.
Yeah.
You do that with the football. You
Yeah.
know.
Wearing the things that you feel trash, work
Okay.
on it.
We actually. Over me, Francisco. All right, welcome here. It's a little training day at TopVelocity, first day after camp. Join in with us. We got some small group in here, and we'll have Coach Francisco going to be giving us a little Spanish interpretation of what we're doing today. But
Yeah,
it's basically mic'd up coaching.
if
Tell
you
them.
have any questions in Spanish, just, type it. I'm going to be able to answer.
So the other thing is you're driving up. Where the energy is being directed is important, because where do I want to put forces? I want to put forces up on the ball. I want to put more forces, if anything, down on the ball, right? So if I can initially drive in that direction, if I drive down in that direction, you're going to feel this pull to that same direction. If I'm driving up, I'm going to feel those forces wanting to go up. And then I'm going to have to try to fix that with my upper body. So when you get here, folk just wants to push to that same position.
Yeah, I'm trying to go on Thursday for sure.
There it is. Drive it down and out. Good. You just need to get a little bit more powerful down there. Start putting a little bit more force into it, like I'm doing here. A little bit more into it. And there it goes.
Okay, now I'll be here.
Good, good. Come on. Pop. Boom. There you go.
Right
Feel it?
that way.
All right. And
Yeah.
you could have delayed it a tad bit longer than perfect. So you're doing it in drive drills, which is a little bit easier. But remember, in your training,
I'm
in
not
your
that
future
taller than
training,
you.
Yeah, I
if
know.
these
already
help you a
tried
lot,
one.
do these first, and then go to your static drives.
Should be so like that. You said like this.
Okay. Stay on that leg. Stay.
There you go.
There you go.
Want to get us an 80
Uh-huh.
in one drive. Yeah, just like with the med balls, you were holding this back a little bit with a little bit better posture, right? Here, you're everything's kind of going out early. I want to feel this really holding back, staying strong, stable, ready as this goes forward.
Profesor, nadie está preguntando.
Yeah, that's it. Good. There you go. Now, the reason you're spiking that ball because you're still doing this with your arm, and that's where you might
Profesor,
need a
creo
lot
que
of
el maíz se
these.
apagó.
Kind of start off, right?
No.
Where you're sitting here.
Me escucha.
Here. So maybe when your arm lays back, you resist supination, you resist going this way. And then when you spring into instrumentation, you get all that
No hay
spring
nadie
into
preguntando.
pronation. So it's like,
Español.
right? You want to feel that thumb turn over. So I'm finishing right there, boom, right? So I'm not, because if I'm thinking pronation, I'm not going to be pushing my elbow. So
Feel that.
think like a football. Like you're throwing a football. That's better. So now that you're pronating better, now you can really load it back and push your trunk out. Good, there you go. You need a lot of this. Those look better. I'm seeing this. Remember? So think about how the arm loads. The arm loads and torsion. So it goes rotation. So this tightens up as this is tightening up. So you're twisting here and you're twisting here. And torsion, like a spring, it tightens here and it springs there. It tightens here as you resist it. So you're pushing against my finger, pushing against my finger. You're resisting it and then it springs into it. See that?
Yeah.
So you're resisting externation, you're resisting supination, and then boom, then everything springs into that. Not for velo, really more for spin. That's what spins the ball.
Okay, now think about this. Feel that power and then move how fast you can to hit.
You loose. You loose up top. Loose up top. Yeah. You separate.
There you go. There you go.
Find a fucking lead. Got it, babe. Let's go. Now get an 87.
Pop a 3. Go get a hop on the mouse. Pop a 3.
Just more
Pop a 3.
more weight on that leg. More weight. Quick.
I'd also say be careful of not getting too much like this, because then it's going to be harder to drive.
I can feel myself.
Yeah, so still be centered, and then like keep your weight like, it's like 51-50, so it's like 49 to everybody here.
Stop going up. You keep going and going like you keep going like this.
Yeah, you're raising up too high.
Like you go like this and you go on your tippy toe before then go down. Just drag down.
There you go. There you go.
Good. There you go. Good. Let your body push the energy to your arm, to the ball. Good. There you go. Hips, trunk, arm.
Like going forward with your chest. So once you do that, your leg is the same way, and it's not the same push. If you're here, I can push more. So let the momentum that you create forward is what's gonna bring your chest back.
So the leg creates chest going back.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, it's a little stiff. Get like this. You know, when it's like, we gotta stay relaxed. Push the energy up, like the whip. Fluid. There you go. That's it. You're losing the ball because at the end you pushed here. It's what you're probably doing is you're feeling like, oh, I'm not gonna get it through, so I gotta push. Let the chest create the force to get it through, not the arm.
Don't do that. Feel that shoulder tear. Don't break your.
There you go. You just, but don't think you have to pull your energy back. Just make the correction. Like last time, I wasn't aggressive with my chest. Same energy, push it through my chest. Because the hardest thing is when you get into a game, when we get timid and then we start trying to aim the ball, our velos drop, and we're not even locating well now. That's what happens. We shut all our energy down and we're trying to do it here. It never works that way. So you got to start telling yourself, every time I hold my breath, I shut it down and I try to do it here, that's gonna never work. So stop doing it, right? And it's the hardest thing to battle in your mind. Like a hitter, it'd be stupid for a hitter to be like, oh, I gotta make contact, right? No, even if you make contact like that, what's it gonna do? You're right, you still gotta move correctly. You gotta move effectively. You just gotta, when you adjust, you can't shut your energy off. When you adjust, you just gotta redirect your energy better. There you go, perfect. And that's confidence. Confidence in the game is, yeah, I don't want to make a mistake, but on my next attempt, I don't want to make a mistake on my next attempt, but I also don't want to give my best effort. And a lot of times, because the fear of making a mistake, you've decided to make less of an effort. Because you think a less of an effort, less chance for error. Not true. Less of an effort, even bigger chance. Maybe you get the ball where you want it, but it's not even an effective pitch in that location because you lost velo, because you pulled back. So you got to start coaching yourself that, yeah, I don't want to make a mistake, but I also don't want to give up such a low effort that even if I get what I want, it's not even effective. So in every adjustment, it's like put yourself into it, okay? Bounce the ball to the left. I'm gonna close off, make an adjustment to the right with the same effort, boom, right? That's how every time you have to do it that way. Very good, very good. And here's the thing, when you give the same effort every time, it's you have an application just to then make your changes. But if you make a change and you pull your effort back, you don't even know if it worked or not, because you killed the effort. So every time, same effort and make your adjustments. Good, very good. And that's why the weight room is such a great mental edge, because the weight room gives you the ability to amplify your efforts, right? Someone who's well built in the weight room, if I say give me 100%, they give me 120. Someone who's not well built in the weight room, I say give me 100%, they give me 60. That is, it's teaching you how to control your central nervous system, and whenever you want to amplify it, you're so good at amplifying it because of that weight room, because that's what the weight is doing to you. It's helping you get more control of your efforts, right? Oh, I'm going to go up 20 pounds. I got to bring my effort up 20 pounds. You're constantly developing or teaching your body to move the gauge. More effort, less effort. Move up. So when you come out in your skill, you have a lot more control over that. That's why all of a sudden you start competing better, because you're now in the game throwing a pitch going, man, I need to give a little bit more effort in this pitch. And then you do immediately. Boom. And that's so much more of a competitive edge than when you don't have that control. Does that make sense? That's why that weight room is going to change you dramatically. You're gonna come out of there in a year. You put a hard year in there, you're going to come out of there, you're not even going to be the same person you were when you went in.
I never did like the Olympic list, like you said.
Yeah.
I always just did like this and like the other stuff, but I
Yeah.
never done like that.
Yeah, that's, be honest, that's what's going to turn you into a high-level athlete. When you can go in there and you have the confidence to push well over your body weight, when you can load up 260 pounds, 270 pounds on that bar, and you can throw it up with confidence and stick it, you're going to get on the mound and you're going to be like, all right, I want a 90% effort. Your body's going to be like, here you go. As opposed to now, you're like, I want a 90% effort. You're not going to know where to start. You're going to struggle to turn it on. You're not going to know the leverage points. That's what that's developing you and giving you that ability. Yeah, if you want, work it back.
Get of your intensity. That doesn't gonna make you throw hard. Keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, you were like, again, no, relax. Work through your mechanic.
Ese es como él quiere tirar duro.
What? So look, good effort. Didn't make the adjustment. What?
People asking questions says my shoulder hurts when I external rotate, so I feel like I have to shorten my throw in order to not feel the pain. Any advice? I'm also 28.
So when it externally rotates, you probably aren't strong enough in your upper body. A good assessment tool for that is armcare.com. Try TopVelocity if you need a coupon code, or TopVelo maybe, I don't know. But it's going to assess instrumentation, externmentation strength. If you're below average, and it's going to show you what the averages are, if you're below average, it could just be a strength issue. I have a feeling it's just a strength issue. You're probably too weak. So we need to work on upper body strength like we do with the TopVelocity programs. It's not just doing your shoulder routines. It's actually getting strong overhead, getting strong through your whole body. Your body just can't handle the torques. The torques is the way you want to move it. Also, too, you might be out of sync. Like I'm working over here with Matthew. You're probably not using the kinetic chain well, so you're going right to your arm, and your torques are too high for what you really need to get the velo you want. So there's two things going on. You got to get better using kinetic chain, and you got to get stronger. You're probably just way too weak, and that's what's causing the problem.
Okay, so
Is this out of focus? It looks a little out of focus. What do you think? Yeah, it looks better. There you go.
this is Jack saying, like, how do I get better with my lower half mechanics?
The lower half mechanics is what we do, TopVelocity, because it's the foundation of a good kinetic chain. You got to use something like a king of the hill telling you how well you create ground forces. You got to use something like the med balls that load up the throw. It's putting more of a load on your throw, which makes your legs have to work harder, your trunk have to work harder. We use sleds. The sleds help. You got to lift. You got to know how to lift to have a lower half to use it. Most people don't understand you can't use the lower half if you don't even physically have a good lower half, right? So that's huge. That's a big piece.
Last question, is the best at home drills to do for velocity?
So velocity drills at home. You can do all this at home the way I look at it. I mean, this is just really a garage gym. You got you could have your 45 feet in your garage. You got your targets. You got your king of the hills. You got right behind it a rack with some rubber weights. So to me, this is at home training because it wouldn't be any less. I mean, if you had a stick and logs as the barbell and the barbell, it still would work. So it's really trying to do the top B training. If at home means more affordable, you can make shift any of this stuff. You could be really creative. I've seen guys do it.
This is really funny. This is how many times a week should I long toss a 14-year-old?
How many times a week should you long toss?
He's 14 years old.
Never. You should never long toss. Be honest, seriously. I know you can't see it, but all of our testimonials are guys that broke 90 and at least added 5. We've got guys up there easily out of 10, 15. All those guys pretty much in their off season through 45 feet. Long toss to me is just adding more volume. You can do that same volume intensity at 45 feet. The purpose of what me saying long toss doesn't have that big of effect is because throwing at 45 feet, we can get just as much improvements if we understand what are good mechanics and how to develop them. And that's all we're really doing here. We're teaching guys the scientific principles of better mechanics. We're giving them tools and drills to improve those movements, lifts to improve those movements. And you don't even have to throw more than 45 feet if you want to throw 15, 20 miles an hour or so. Distance of throwing has very little effect on performance, right? It'd be like saying if you want to become a faster sprinter, you got to run long distance. That actually would hurt you. And in a way, same thing in pitching. If you try to throw too far, it actually starts to hurt you. Messes your mechanics up, puts too much torque on your arm. So like a sprinter, I don't need to tell him to run longer than he has to in competition. I'm just going to give him drills and exercises and mechanics to improve his sprint technique and his ability to move more explosively.
It says, Alan says, what do I need to do if I'm skinny and I throw 80 and I want to throw harder?
Skinny, well, I mean, first learning how to gain some good mass. And, you got to lift for mass, you got to eat for mass. And that's just going to help you sit into your lower half better, create more forces out of the ground, move more forces through your body. Because you got to understand, when someone moves a lot of force, they're putting a lot more pressure on their body to move, right? For example, it's just inertial. Like if I jump off like a one-story building and I land, the forces that come down from that are way farther than my body weight. If I can't survive that, I'd break my legs. That's exaggerated, but when I go down the mound and I hit front foot, I have an increase of forces up to 250% of your body weight. It's hitting you. And now you got to catch that, but you got to then thrust it through your body to the ball. So if you're too lean and too weak, you're probably not moving forces well through these dynamic movements, which is what elite guys do well, and that's how they get the forces to the ball. So you got to first have the body to be able to handle higher loads than your own body weight if you're really going to be able to accelerate that much energy to the ball. There you go.
Bueno, pero ¿tenemos algunas preguntas por ahí o no? Bueno, nada, para toda esa gente en español que nos están viendo, cualquier pregunta que tenga, aquí estoy yo para respondérsela, sin ningún compromiso, cualquier duda de cómo funcionamos, cómo funciona el programa, cómo te puedes mejorar y todas esas cosas que estás haciendo mal ahorita, las puedes preguntar sin ningún problema y va a tomar nuestro tiempo y explicarte los detalles de cómo puedes mejorar. Uno de los consejos que les puedo dar es manténganse entrenando en el gimnasio, mantengan su cuerpo fuerte, sepan qué tipo de ejercicio están trabajando, no simplemente vayan al gimnasio y sigan la rutina de cualquier persona, sepan qué necesitan trabajar, qué tipo de músculos necesitan trabajar. Otro consejo. Alan, saludos de Panamá. Bueno, de aquí a Estados Unidos para ti en Panamá. Si tienes alguna pregunta, aprovecho ahorita.
Él dice, eso como conveniente, dice, ¿qué yo necesito hacer si estoy flaco y estoy tirando 80, pero quiero tirar más duro?
Bueno, si estás flaco, primero que nada, vámonos a la física. Si pesa 60 kilos, la fuerza que tú estás creando en el piso no va a ser igual a una persona que esté pesando 85. Entonces, si estás tirando 80 con 60 kilos, quiere decir que si te pones 15 kilos más, esos 80 pueden ser 88, 87 millas. Entonces, tampoco puedes crear esas millas sin ir al gimnasio, porque no vas a tener la fuerza de mover esa cantidad de peso en tu cuerpo. Entonces, por eso siempre nos dicen, mantenga las piernas fuertes, sí, pero tienes que saber qué tipo de ejercicio hacer y cómo hacerlo. ¿Tienes otra pregunta? Aquí estamos, hermano.
Una pregunta, estoy dándole consejo a los muchachos. ¿Qué tú dices de los muchachos que quieren tirar largo?
Esas personas que en todo programa en Latinoamérica nos ponen a soltar largo, me incluyo, yo fui parte de esos programas. O sea, tú en un juego no vas a lanzar largo, ese es uno. Le vas a poner demasiado estrés al brazo, tratando de llegar a una distancia que mecánicamente, o sea, no lo vas a lograr. Lo que queremos hacer es trabajar a corta distancia con mecánicas apropiadas. Así cuidamos la salud de nuestros brazos y a la hora del juego podemos aplicarlo también.
Dice John, él tiene 2 años fuera del juego, ahora tiene 14. Le gustaría, él se siente como que está un poco atrás, se siente como que está en los 12 todavía porque tenía 2 años fuera del juego. You can answer in Spanish or in English, he can handle both. That's what he said.
Bueno, si tenía 2 años sin jugar, lo más importante es que fortalezca todo tu cuerpo, porque tanto tiempo sin jugar, no sé si te mantuviste entrenando en el gimnasio, eso es algo muy importante. Si no lo hiciste, enfócate en eso primero y ya después empieza con tu programa de lanzar, porque si lo haces sin hacerte fuerte, puede que te lesiones rápido. Entonces mi consejo es que te pongas fuerte en los hombros, los brazos, las piernas, para que tu cuerpo vuelva a resistir la cantidad de movimiento y la fuerza que estás aplicando en él.
Hablando de eso también, ¿qué opinas de correr largo versus los sprints para el tema de la agilidad? ¿Qué opinas de eso?
Bueno, sencillo. Lo que un lanzador dura para lanzar es menos de 1 segundo. Entonces, ¿por qué te pones a correr 30, 45 minutos? Te dicen que es para la resistencia a la hora de pichar, claro. Eso es importante, mantener la resistencia. Pero como nada más usa 1 segundo a la hora de lanzar, no necesitas correr 35 minutos. Y más si corres y no te estás alimentando bien, vas a perder peso, vas a bajar de millas vas a tener más agotamiento muscular y no vas a tener tiempo de recuperarte lo más pronto posible. Entonces lo aconsejable es correr rápido en corta distancia, ser explosivo. Ejercicio de explosividad es lo más importante que todo.
Dice Javier, ¿a qué edad ponemos a los niños a empezar en el gym?
Bueno, en realidad si tú quieres poner un niño de 10 años en gimnasio, tú tienes que ser consciente en qué, o sea, el peso que tú le estás metiendo a él. Si un niño de 10 años pesa, digamos, 60 kilos y tú lo quieres poner a hacer 100 kilos, o sea, no puedes. Lo que tienes que hacer es mantener su músculo siempre activo, es fortalecerlo poco a poco. Con un niño de tan poca edad tú no puedes ir muy rápido. Trabájalo lento, que él se vaya fortaleciendo y mientras vayas pasando los años puedes meterle más peso ya que sus huesos están más formados, más fuertes. Pero es importante que se mantenga trabajando.
Ese es Javier Sánchez desde España.
Ah, saludos a España, a la gente de España.
Duro. Y, ¿qué ejercicio tú le puedes dar a la gente que pueda hacer en su casa rápido? ¿Qué tip? ¿Los trabajitos de hombro? ¿Qué tú?
Sí, siempre es importante mantener los hombros en condiciones. Es algo que lo puedes hacer al frente del sofá, en cualquier parte de tu casa. ¿Qué otro ejercicio? Puedes hacer sentadillas, es algo que no necesita mucho material, simplemente tus piernas, y estás trabajando con el peso de tu cuerpo. Eso es una de las cosas que puedes hacer para mantenerte en actividad. No quiere decir que haciendo ejercicio en tu casa posiblemente vayas a mejorar increíblemente a la hora de lanzar. Eso es una de las cosas principales. Entonces, mientras puedas mantenerse activo, bien.
Okay, let me call Brent real quick because he found a question in English what he wanted to answer in English. Brent, call real quick. Entonces él dice, vamos a responder en español también por si alguien en español que
Dale.
Dice, él tiene una buena movilidad en el hip, pero tiene del hip arriba tiene mala movilidad. ¿Cómo eso afectaría la velocidad de él? Si él obviamente no tiene cómo transferir esa fuerza.
Claro, si tiene flexibilidad en las caderas, pero no las tiene en la parte superior del cuerpo, ¿qué va a pasar? Cuando las caderas se muevan, la parte de arriba del cuerpo también se va a mover y no van a crear esa separación que queremos para lanzar más duro. Entonces es importante que también sea flexible tanto las caderas, tanto la parte superior del cuerpo para que trabajen en conjunto. Así que enfócate en eso, enfócate en trabajar la parte superior, la flexibilidad y eso te va a ayudar más a ganar más millas.
Still don't know where to train this summer? ¿Estás listo para este verano?
All right, so
Two twins.
the question was about if I have good hip mobility, but I have poor T-spine or thoracic mobility. Does that affect velocity? Of course it is. Because being optimized through the whole body to mobilize and move is going to make everything sync up better. If you have really good mobility in one area and tighten another area, now I call it a kink in the chain. So it's like if you had a hose and you're getting good flow through the hose, but you got a knot in the hose, well, that's going to break the flow, and that's going to cause problems. And in pitching, when you have a break in the chain, you got to overcompensate. So it's like you're driving, your hips are rotating well, but your trunk can't stay back, and your arm can't load well because of the thoracic tightness. Well, the energy got to here, and then it got stuck, and then you had to overcompensate. So you should be working to improve that. But sometimes, like, you can only go so far with mobility, and then you're just going to have to basically push it as best you can, and then there might be some overcompensation. There might be a little too much glove, and you're just always going to try to do the best you can, and you'll know if it's becoming a problem because you'll actually start breaking down. You'll feel more breakdown, and say maybe your forearm starts tightening up more because of that. And so you're going to have to be more aware of that because you have this restriction issue. But the point is, yeah, it's going to hold you back. You're just going to do your best you can to overcome it and be aware of how it's breaking down.
Okay, so Alan's saying, how should I do a weekly routine? So my goal is to increase muscle mass and miles.
Yeah, you should. If you're trying to gain mass and throw harder, you should do it every day, because the guys you're competing with, you know, maybe they're physically better than you, maybe they've got a better program than you. So at the end of the day, you're competing with all these guys in here, and you need as much edge as you can. So you got to train every day. Like, why would you not train every day?
Yeah, that's correct.
You can go in Spanish.
Ya, lo que le estaba diciendo es que, o sea, puedes tener una buena flexibilidad en las caderas, pero si no las tienes en el tronco, el flow no va a ser igual. Entonces, tienes que asegurarte primero que tengas buena movilidad en los tobillos, en las caderas, en el tronco, y también que sepas identificar estos problemas. Mucha gente, muchos de los coaches te ven y te dicen, no, estás bien, pero no se dan cuenta de la falta de movilidad que muchos peloteros tienen. Entonces es sumamente importante ser flexible, ser poderoso. Y sobre la última pregunta que le hicieron, me preguntaron que si deberían tener una rutina semanal para subir de masa muscular y aumentar de millas. Pues por supuesto, o sea, si queremos mejorar, tiene que ser una rutina de todos los días, saber cuándo descansar, porque eso es sumamente importante, igual como trabajar fuerte, es sumamente importante saber descansar y tomar el tiempo necesario para eso.
¿Qué tipo de alimentación tú le recomiendas para que suba masa muscular?
Pues primero que nada, olvidemos la comida chatarra, eso no nos da nada positivo a nuestro cuerpo. Vegetales, muchos vegetales. Tienen que saber cómo funciona su cuerpo, qué necesita su cuerpo para rendir más, qué es lo que te da energía para poder levantar más peso. Todas esas cosas tienen que saberlas porque es su cuerpo y es lo que ustedes manejan. Literalmente como un carro, ustedes saben que tienen que poner aceite, gasolina, chequear que todo funcione. Lo mismo con tu cuerpo. Si te pregunto qué es lo que más te da energía en tu cuerpo, tienes que saber responderme, ¿entiendes? Entonces, a esa pregunta te digo, lo que más da energía a tu cuerpo son los carbohidratos. Es muy importante que se mantengan comiendo carbohidratos, muy importante la proteína, porque es lo que va a recuperar tus músculos después del agotamiento. La grasa también es importante, pero tenemos que tener cuidado qué tipo de grasa consumimos. Si agarramos y comemos chicharrón, esa grasa no es buena. Tenemos que saber de dónde vienen las grasas buenas. Vienen de los aguacates, vienen de los frutos secos, vienen del aceite de oliva. Entonces son cosas importantes que debemos saber a la hora de alimentarnos.
Still don't know where to train this summer? ¿Estás listo para este verano?
TopVelocity was developed to provide a better method, a science-based method of training that would have the complete understanding, the complete package of not just increasing performance and velocity, but doing it with health as a huge focus. You know, people give me a hard time about Olympic lifting because it's like an advanced form of lifting. And when I say advanced, meaning like it's highly technical. There's no better lifts in the weight room to develop the coordination and the ability to put your body in the correct sequence, the correct position to get to a maximum force production. So I developed the 2-pound med ball drills because I needed to, for me personally, when I was coming back from my injury, I needed to recruit more of my body and less of my arm. Now you're starting to recruit the legs better, the core better, the trunk better, and now you have to get good at, you know, driving forces out of the ground, sequencing the hips and shoulders to get the energy to the arm, because the arm can't do it. biomechanical analysis is a huge part of this, along with the evaluations of the athlete. We have to measure the joint mobility. We have to measure the athleticism, the jumps, the sprints, the strength. So we could sit here and debate what's the better exercises, what's the better training. But what's really hard to debate is the end result.
Still don't know where to train this summer? ¿Estás listo para este verano?